is going to be Mobile Suit Gundam in order, the Universal Century timeline. So we're just going to go through this, and at the end, we'll say if this is lit or shit. Okay. I just came up with that just now.
That's good.
I like
good.
that.
Now to frame it up, whose list is this?
Thank you. So this is IGN. Yeah, IGN.com. This is a Raphael Montemayor. So I don't know him too much, but we'll just blame it on IGN.
Yeah.
Okay. Where to start? Number 1, the origin. So start with the origin. Okay. I can see that.
Bold
to me,
strategy, Cotton. We'll see how it plays out for him.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, to me, it seems like that's someone that's like already a hardcore lore master, and they're like, okay, I'm going to dive into Gundam next. And then, they put on there. It's like those channels I see where it's lore for like every sci-fi series. And it's like the person doesn't just like that one show. They just like lore. They just like sci-fi lore,
Exactly.
Okay. And then after the origin, you would go into Mobile Suit Gundam, which makes sense. But after Mobile Suit Gundam, MS Igloo. I could see that for going back into more of a Xeon perspective for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we jump into 08 MS Team. And then Requiem for Vengeance, which I feel like is a good follow-up, because what we're doing here is we're really in that one-year war. We're still in that one-year war here.
I think we will be for quite a while. No, I'm just kidding. With all the one-year war spinoffs.
Well, yeah, that's true. Exactly. But then what's interesting, it goes into War in the Pocket, which
so good.
That's at the end. So that's a good one because that kind of ends that era. So I think that makes sense here. But then Thunderbolt, which I think it in a good spot just because it also goes to 81. Or doesn't it?
I would almost do Thunderbolt before War in the Pocket.
Well, because I think, even though early Thunderbolt might be before, the later Thunderbolt is after the 1-year war. Right.
Right.
Like,
it does kind of bleed over.
Yeah. So then it goes into Stardust Memory, which I think would make sense to do that next. And then Zeta Gundam. Okay. Because, depending on, is it the new translation that has the newer Titan stuff?
Yeah.
Right? So I wonder if that's like, let's see, something to add in. If you're really doing it this way, you watch a new translation, but you watch the last episode instead of the last 15 minutes.
There you go. That's a good way of doing it.
Okay. And the Double Zeta Gundam. I applaud you adding that on here.
It made the list.
Char's Counterattack.
Naturally.
Unicorn. Twilight Axis. Narrative. Hathaway. F91 Victory. And G Savior. I call this the nerd list. This is, if you were into lore and you're like, okay, get me down that Gundam lore, Universal Century. Anything missing from this that you would have added?
I don't know if there's anything missing. G Savior's an interesting addition. Like, if you're going to go G Savior, you might as well add Turn A after it.
Okay. I like what you're thinking. That would actually make sense. I was going to come down here to see if it had that, but no. And then they're showing some other ones, but because the other AUs have very limited, it's probably easier.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Build Fighters was called the Our Century timeline.
Yeah, it's kind of fun that it's like, this is real life.
Man, and what are the chances that that's what the live action Gundam movie is going to be?
I mean, you had been pitching that for like before anybody mentioned it. It's like you were like, I feel like it's going to be Build Fighters, like,
because the only reason I say that is because if they want to double down on the Gunpla, the moneymaker, that's like when they come out with that Assassin's Creed movie that was bad. It was just to make the movie so it's visible, not that it, But anyway,
that was terrible.
I feel like anytime I start talking about the Gundam live action movie, that's the rest of the episode. So we're gonna move on. Anyway, okay, correct. Century has its own timeline.
There you
go. It does say it's tied in. So Okay. Wow. Advanced Generation Timeline. I
Yep.
didn't realize it was called that. So it's interesting because when it's showing these other AUs, they're saying watch these AUs in order. Where I would think Seed would be a good next one since that's super popular.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems like they're ordered in AUs that have lots of content
Yeah.
because most of them are just one entry, right? Like,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, G-Quick's timeline. Yeah, that's the last one. No, but,
mm.
yeah, I like
Wait,
this
does it
list.
even have
What's
I
up?
think they left off Witch from Mercury, didn't they? Oh no, Ad
Oh,
Stella.
Ed
There it is.
Stella.
Yeah.
No,
I was
yeah,
gonna
that's
say,
near the bottom
what?
of the list, though. Um, so, I do think this is, like, a cool list for, like, if you know a hardcore anime nerd or someone, like, that they're just that type of person where they like to really soak it in, that's a neat way. I mean, what if, and I think they've made this in a movie before, that you can decide what memories you wanna delete so you can relive things. Isn't that in a movie that just came out? But
Probably.
but to do that for Gundam and be like, "Okay, tonight I wanna watch, the origin up, for the first time, and before watching." But what would be funny is, 1, what if you accidentally deleted the memory that you are deleting your memories? That would be horrible. But also, if you deleted your memory, you watched it, and then you're like, "This shit? This shit? What?"
I spent
Yeah.
half my life on a YouTube channel for this shit. Um,
No, that's
no,
that's
well,
good.
so I think the first two entries obviously beg the question. Adam, do you watch the prequel trilogy first or the original trilogy first?
So what I was doing after, you know, I guess in the 2010s, I would say, is I was always doing it where it'd be like prequel trilogy, then original. Like, I was doing that for a little while. But that was almost like the immersive phase of being into Star Wars
Yeah,
so much. Like, if I went to go visit it again, I would just probably watch Return of the Jedi.
just Return of the Jedi over and over and
Yep,
over.
exactly.
Um, well, that was like there's an interesting dialogue going on Twitter about Dragon Ball Z, and they're like, oh, you should just skip the first 135 episodes and go straight to where Goku becomes a Super Saiyan, and it's like I understand that 135 episodes of an anime is a lot to watch, but the whole idea of him becoming a Super Saiyan, like,
Is what it goes
that's
through.
built up over the course of those 135 episodes. If you, it's like eating dessert before dinner, you ruin the anticipation of it, you just skip
Yeah,
right to the climax without understanding that the climax is only climactic because
yeah,
of the buildup. It's part of this new generation of, like, just impatience. These
yeah.
kids, man. These kids.
I know, but I think it's one of those things like with AI where that authenticity is gonna rise to the top, you know?
100%. Now, you and I, like, we didn't have a choice, right? We watched the original trilogy of Star Wars before the prequels. So,
Yeah,
we have no concept of what it would be like to watch the prequels before the sequels. So, I
yeah,
think as a social experiment, what I'm gonna have to do is my kids are going to watch the prequels before they watch the original trilogy, and we'll
yeah.
see if they appreciate it as much.
Well, that's cool, and it does seem like people appreciate the prequels, like, I think wasn't there, like, this, like, comeback recently? I don't know how much that's Disney just pushing it versus it really being a thing, but it's that thing where people what age people are now, from when it started,
Right.
but, um, yeah, that's interesting, because there's so many interesting parallels with the origin and the prequels.
Yeah.
I don't sometimes I don't know how deliberate that is, or that's more of what happens with good storytelling. Oh, you wanna tell history? Well, let's tell you where the evil came from, because that you know what I mean?
But
It's
that's part of it, is it's like
yeah,
you almost have to go into it with that knowledge in order to appreciate why this story is relevant. So it's like, I think of, like, Rogue One. I don't think I would appreciate watching Rogue One if I hadn't seen any other Star Wars, because I'm like, who cares about this Death Star thing. Like, it's such an abstract threat because we've never seen it. We've never seen it
Right.
blow up a planet or anything. But then, we're supposed to think that these are brave, heroic people for stealing the plans. And it's like, well, you appreciate that watching it, knowing that, like, oh, this is the thing that Luke destroys. Like, I get it now.